Yo, listen up because we gotta talk. Cardi B just completely lost it on Instagram Live. And I don't mean a little clapback or a shady tweet. I mean full-on rage mode. She went at Nicki Minaj with some of the most personal insults we've ever heard in their beef. We're talking fertility, drugs, chart numbers, even name-calling that had the internet in shock. The Barbs are screaming, the Barbie gang is defending, and the memes, man, they're out of control. But here's the real kicker. This wasn't random. This meltdown is the result of years of tension, industry politics, chart wars, and fan drama all boiling over into one explosive night. And now it feels like we're right in the middle of the rap beef of the decade. So grab a drink because over the next few minutes, we're breaking down exactly what Cardi said on IG Live, how Nicki responded, why this feud keeps getting nastier, and what it means for hip-hop right now. Trust me, you don't want to miss this. Before we even touch Cardi's live, let's rewind. Cardi B and Nicki Minaj have never really been friends. The first big crack came back in 2017 when Cardi's breakout hit Bodak Yellow was climbing the charts and everyone immediately started comparing her to Nicki. Nicki had been the queen of rap for nearly a decade with no serious competition, and suddenly here comes Cardi, loud, bold, and topping the Billboard Hot 100. Then came 2018. Remember New York Fashion Week? That infamous night when Cardi stormed across the room, threw a shoe at Nicki, and left with a knot on her forehead after security stepped in? That moment cemented their beef in pop culture forever. Since then, it's been a game of subliminals, Nicki throwing bars in her music, Cardi clapping back on Twitter. Sometimes it's quiet for months, but it always flares up again. And this time, the spark wasn't just shade. It was album sales. Fast forward to now. Nicki dropped Pink Friday 2 in late 2024, and it surprised a lot of people by pulling massive numbers, proving she's still a force almost 20 years in. The Barbs have been riding that wave ever since, calling it proof that Nicki is untouchable.
Cardi, on the other hand, finally released her long-delayed sophomore album this year, after years of teasing. The hype was crazy. Fans were expecting 250,000 first week, maybe even more. But when the final numbers came in, just under 200K. Still solid, but not the monster numbers she needed to silence the comparisons. And that's where things started. Barbs flooded social media, flexing Nicki's sales versus Cardi's. Chart data even had to step in to confirm numbers, and the conversation got heated. You could feel it building, and Cardi couldn't ignore it anymore. So let's get into the IG Live itself, because this is where everything went nuclear. Cardi goes live late at night. No glam team, no polished look, just Cardi raw and unfiltered. From the first second, you could see it in her eyes. She was fired up. She started by saying she's sick of the comparisons. Her exact words were along the lines of, "Why you keep comparing me to Nicki? She's been in this game 16 years. She should be comparing herself to Rihanna, Taylor, Drake, not me. I was in high school when she came out." That already set the tone. Cardi wasn't going to downplay or dodge. She was ready to face it head on. The live chat was going crazy. Thousands of people tuned in within minutes, dropping "Go off, sis" and "Barbs are pressed," while others spammed "Nicki forever." But then Cardi's tone shifted from defensive to offensive. She called Nicki cocaine Barbie, mocked her cryptic Twitter shade, and even said Nicki needs to drop music instead of emojis. It was vicious, and Cardi wasn't smiling. She was heated. Every viral moment has that one line that becomes a meme, and Cardi delivered it. She leaned in close to the camera, dead serious, and said, "You must have missed me, huh? Crazy. Now kiss my feet." The second those words left her mouth, the internet exploded. Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, everybody clipped it, memed it, flipped it. Suddenly, "Kiss My Feet" was trending worldwide. People made remixes, memes, edits, some mocking her, others praising her confidence. And then came the real bombshells. Cardi brought up Nicki's fertility struggles, saying things like,
"Don't come for me when you have to see doctors just to have a baby."
She also implied Nicki had substance issues, doubling down on the cocaine Barbie nickname. That's when you could hear the collective gasp across social media.
Those aren't just bars, those are deeply personal jabs.
And that's what had everyone saying, okay, this just crossed into dangerous territory. The fan reactions during the live were a whole other show. Barbs were screen recording like their lives depended on it, spamming eagle emojis in the comments. Barbie Gang was hyping Cardi up, calling her a truth teller. On Twitter, the timeline split instantly. Hashtags like Cocaine Barbie and Barney B were trending side by side. Some fans photoshopped Cardi into Barney the dinosaur. Others made videos of Nicki flying away like an eagle. It was chaos.
but the kind of chaos that keeps everyone glued to their screens. Even celebrities chimed in. JT from City Girls tweeted shade about people lying about sales, clearly siding with Cardi. Meanwhile, Nicki's allies were liking tweets clowning Cardi for screaming into her phone. This wasn't just fan wars, it was industry players picking sides in real time. Now, Nicki didn't go live. That's not her style. Instead, she hopped on Twitter with her usual cryptic flair. She reposted the eagle metaphor again, basically saying she's soaring above the drama while Cardi's stuck fighting on the ground. She also tweeted one of those alphabet bars. A, B, C, D, E, F, G rap still ugly. It was short, it was petty, but it was classic Nicki. Her fans instantly decoded it as another jab at Cardi. And here's the genius of Nicki's approach. While Cardi is raging in front of tens of thousands of people, Nicki's cool, calculated, and letting her fans do the heavy lifting. To the casual observer, it looks like Nicki's unbothered while Cardi's spiraling, even if that's not the full truth. That perception game is powerful, and Nicki plays it well. Cardi also made a point that actually hit hard with a lot of people. She said, "When Nicki complains about Billboard, y'all say she bitter.
But when I complain, y'all say I'm lying. Which one is it?" And she's not wrong. Both women have beefed with the charts before. Nicki famously ranted about Travis Scott's bundle sales back in 2018, and Cardi has had issues with charting as well. But the way the media and fans spin it often feels biased. Nicki gets labeled as bitter, Cardi gets labeled as a liar. So beneath all the name-calling, there's a real frustration here. Cardi feels like she can't win. If she stays quiet, she's called weak. If she speaks up, she's called messy. And that's part of why she exploded on Live. Here's where we zoom out. These feuds aren't just entertainment. They have real consequences. Cardi screaming about fertility and drugs might hype up her fans, but it could scare off brand partnerships or industry allies. Companies don't like messy headlines attached to their ambassadors. Nicki, by contrast, stays in the shadows with cryptic tweets. It keeps her in the conversation without looking too wild. That's a safer play from a business standpoint. But at the same time, Cardi's rawness is what makes her relatable. Fans feel like they're hearing the truth unfiltered, not a PR version. And let's not forget, drama sells. Cardi's IG Live immediately boosted her album streams. Nicki's cryptic tweets kept Pink Friday 2 in the headlines almost a year after release. So while it looks like chaos, both of them walk away with more attention and more streams. Beyond numbers, this feud is shaping culture. Every time Nicki and Cardi clash, the entire internet stops. It overshadows newer rappers like Lotto, Megan, or Ice Spice. And that's part of why it's so frustrating for some people. They feel like the constant Nicki versus Cardi narrative takes attention away from other women in rap. But at the same time, it also sets the bar. Both Nicki and Cardi are proving that female rappers can dominate headlines, charts, and cultural conversations just as much as any male rapper. It's messy, sure, but it's also history in the making. The morning after Cardi's IG Live, the blogs went crazy. You couldn't scroll without seeing some headline like, "Cardi B melts down on Instagram," or "Nicki Minaj shades Cardi again." What's interesting is how different outlets framed it. Some leaned into Cardi being out of control, while others highlighted Nicki's shady tweets as queen behavior. And here's the thing, media bias plays a huge role in this feud. Platforms know their audience, and they'll frame stories to get clicks. Shade Room, Hollywood Unlocked, TMZ, they all push slightly different angles. That's why fans always accuse the media of favoritism. But at the end of the day, the real winners are the clicks, because these stories go viral instantly. And then there's the fan conspiracies. Some Barbie gang members are convinced Nicki intentionally waited for Cardi's rollout week to start dropping cryptic shade, just to steal headlines. Meanwhile, the Barbs swear Cardi only raged on Live to distract from her album underperforming. Fans dig deep, pulling old tweets, comparing outfits, analyzing lyrics. It's like a full-time job. And honestly, that's part of what keeps this feud alive. Even when Cardi and Nicki don't say anything, their fans will create narratives. And those narratives get picked up by the blogs. It's almost like the fan bases are writing the script alongside the rappers themselves. So what's next? Well, we can expect a few things. Cardi might double down and drop music addressing Nicki more directly. She hinted at having something in the vault for her haters. If that's true, expect a diss track or subliminals in her next release. Nicki, on the other hand, will likely keep playing chess. She knows Cardi's emotional, so all she has to do is toss out a cryptic tweet and watch Cardi spiral. But don't forget, Nicki's also got new features lined up, and if she throws in even a tiny bar aimed at Cardi, it'll dominate headlines. And here's the wild card, award season. If either one wins big, or worse, loses,
you know the other will be ready to pounce with shade. This feud isn't just alive, it's evolving with every career milestone. Let's just imagine for a second. What if these two squashed the beef? Think about it. Nicki Minaj and Cardi B on the same track. That would literally break the internet, crash Spotify, and probably debut at #1 instantly.
But let's be real. It's probably never gonna happen. There's too much history, too much pride, and too much fan pressure. The Barbs and the Barbie gang almost need this feud to keep their identity strong. If they ever joined forces, half the internet would implode. Still, it's fun to think about. So that's the breakdown. Cardi B raged on IG Live. Nicki threw her shade on Twitter, and the internet had a meltdown. But now I want to hear from you. Was Cardi justified in snapping, or did she go way too far? Do you think Nicki is being smart by staying cryptic, or is she dodging the smoke? Drop your thoughts below, because this debate is nowhere near finished. Anyway, this concludes today's video. Be sure to subscribe to LoafTube for future celebrity videos, and turn on that post notification bell so you don't miss out on any future uploads. Until then, see you in the next one.